Somewhere between his WWE debut and starting All Elite Wrestling, Cody Rhodes put on some face paint and a bodysuit and called himself Stardust. Why don't we go back and look at how this character started and ended? Also, if you want a more complete look at Cody Rhodes' career, check out the Bell to Bell episode dedicated to him. So in 2013, Cody Rhodes and Goldust won the Tag Team Championship and were doing pretty well. Once 2014 came around, things began to go downhill. First they lost the titles at Royal Rumble, and then they began a losing streak. Cody felt like he was the weak link, and at Payback 2014, he told Goldust to find a better tag team partner. Over the next couple of weeks, Cody would select different wrestlers for Goldust to team with. The Bizarre One tried out a handful of different partners, but none of them worked out. After some trial and error, Cody said that he had found somebody who would match Goldust's star power. On the June 16, 2014 episode of Raw, we found out just who that someone was. Goldust was the first to enter, and after stopping on the entranceway, we heard the theme song for the wrestler we would soon call Stardust. Covered from head to toe in black and gold, Stardust and his brother head towards the ring to confront their opponents, Curtis Axel and Rybaxel. The two face-paint reigning superstars were more aggressive during this match, as they jumped their adversaries as soon as the bell rang. Stardust kept the momentum going by hitting a double team move with Goldust and then planting Curtis Axel with a DDT. Ryback tried to help out his teammate, but the Golden Duo got rid of him in the blink of an eye. Stardust would continue to work on Axel, laying blows to the face and hitting a top rope forearm. The match came to a finish when Stardust climbed to the second rope and flipped forward into a stunner. 3 slaps on the mat, and it was the dawn of a new beginning for the Sons of Dusty Rhodes. I thought this was a good way to introduce Stardust, by just having him give an onslaught of moves for a minute. I also want to say, I'm a fan of the Stardust character. I can see why people don't like him. Stardust is a bit out there, and he's similar to Goldust in a lot of ways. I think the reason I like the character is that I do prefer more of the fantasy side of wrestling than the sports side, but that's just me. Anyways, Stardust picked up the win for his team, and the Rhodes brothers were back in the game. Gold and Stardust would pick up a few more wins over Rybaxel, solidifying their victory. Soon after, the team of brothers would look to capture the Tag Team Championship. They got their opportunity at Night of Champions in a match against the title holders, the Usos. The Dust Duo used some dirty tactics during the match, but they did succeed in their mission and ended the night with gold wrapped around their waists. While they were able to retain the titles in a rematch, Gold and Stardust lost them in a fatal 4-way at Survivor Series. History began to repeat itself when the Dust Brothers began to start losing matches on a consistent basis. In early February of 2015, Stardust would vent his frustration to Goldust after the team lost yet again. While trying to talk to his tag partner backstage, Goldust would call him Cody, to which Stardust told him to never use that name. Tension would keep rising until things finally snapped when Stardust attacked Goldust after another tag team loss. Cody Rhodes would completely transform into Stardust when he said that the son of Dusty Rhodes was dead. At Fastlane, Stardust went one-on-one with his former tag partner. Stardust would lose the match after a roll-up as Goldust pleaded for his younger sibling to come back. Shortly after that, Stardust would beat Goldust backstage, and he would attack his older brother once more on the following episode of SmackDown. That's where the storyline ended, as Stardust would be one of the participants in the Intercontinental Championship ladder match at WrestleMania 31. Even though he brought his own ladder to the fight, it wasn't enough for him to win the title. The next big storyline for Stardust was his rivalry with Stephen Amell. It started with Stardust getting in Amell's face on the May 25th, 2015 episode of Raw. Stardust would begin obsessing over Amell, and more specifically, Amell's character, the Green Arrow. Things developed further on August 10th when Stardust shoved Stephen Amell, who was in the crowd. It turned out to be a poor decision, as the Star of Arrow would jump the barricade and attack Stardust. This developed into a tag team match at SummerSlam, with Stardust teaming with King Barrett against Stephen Amell and someone else Stardust was feuding with, Neville. Like many other celebrity-involved matches, Amell's side won. While the interdimensional oddity was finished with the Green Arrow, he still had his sights set on the man Gravity forgot. With the Ascension at his side, the trio took on Neville and the Lucha Dragons at Night of Champions. While they got the victory that night, the team would proceed to lose every match thereafter until dissolving the team. Towards the end of 2015, Stardust would have some run-ins with Titus O'Neil. They would wrestle several times, with O'Neil always coming out on top. The last major event in Stardust, or Cody Rhodes' WWE career, was performing at WrestleMania 32 in another Intercontinental Championship ladder match, which he once again lost. After that, it wasn't long before Stardust would have his last match in the company. On the May 20th, 2016 episode of WWE Superstars, the Prince of Dark Matter would perform one final time. Stardust's very last WWE opponent was someone he had beaten multiple times in the past, Zack Ryder. One thing that stood out to me was at the start of the match, the crowd started chanting Cody.
Uh-oh.
Even though at this point WWE wasn't doing much with Stardust, people were still invested, at least somewhat. The former tag team champion didn't take Ryder seriously when the match began, which cost him, as the Long Island IC was able to get the advantage. After being tossed around the ring and almost getting pinned, Stardust literally took off the gloves and gave Zack Ryder his full attention. Some stomps and punches slowed the speed of the match down to a pace the silver face paint wearing wrestler preferred. This backfired on Stardust as the leisure tempo gave the internet champion time to recover and gain control once again. A dropkick pushed Stardust out of the ring, where he used his new surroundings to inflict some serious damage to Ryder. When they got back inside the ropes, Stardust remained in control and began working on the now injured left shoulder of Zack Ryder. Even though he's more aggressive now, Stardust still took time to gloat. Moments like that proved to be Stardust's downfall. The brother of Goldust got caught in the top rope during a series of punches. The Long Island Loudmouth started picking up steam by connecting with move after move. The match almost came to a close when Stardust got hit by the Broski boot, but he still got the shoulder up. Stardust put an end to Ryder's reign, and when he wasn't able to hit the Queen's crossbow, he went for the disaster kick instead. Like the boot Ryder gave him, Stardust only got the 2 count. Knowing he would have to attack with something bigger, Stardust grabbed Ryder and headed for the top rope. Disaster struck when Ryder stunned the son of the American Dream and followed up with a Hurricanrana and closed out the match with a Rough Rider. 3 seconds later, and the WWE career of Stardust, as well as Cody Rhodes, would be finished. One day after the match aired, Rhodes announced via Twitter that he had requested his release from WWE. One day after that, his request was granted. Cody has said that even though Stardust was a professional low for him, he's still grateful for doing it, as it's helped him get to where he is today. I would say the majority of fans didn't enjoy the Stardust character, but does have its supporters. I'm one of them. It could have been improved, but I thought it was fun. Considering where Cody's at and that he wasn't a huge fan of the character, I think we're probably never going to see Stardust return. If you want to see Cody Rhodes' first and last matches before donning the face paint, you can check it out here. I'm Zach from Tap Out Corner, and that was Bell to Bell.